Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly is a follow-up to the first Fatal Frame. In essence, Fatal Frame 2 retains the same gameplay elements from the first game, but brings with it a new location and some quality of life improvements. People are saying that Fatal Frame 2 is the scariest and creepiest game ever made. Is this true? Stick with this review to find out. In Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly, you take on the role of two twin sisters, Mio and Mayu, who, by following a crimson butterfly in the woods, end up in a forgotten cursed Japanese village called Minikami Village. They are trapped in this lost village, and throughout the game you'll learn about a ritual called the Crimson Sacrifice Ritual. Basically, in order to escape the cursed village, one twin has to sacrifice the other. That's the basic synopsis of the game's story. You'll mostly play with Mio and an occasional gameplay section with the other twin, Mayu. Mayu becomes more and more creepy while progressing throughout the game. That's as far as I'm comfortable talking about the story without treading into spoiler territory too much. The story is very disturbing and awesome in my book. So, in Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly, you kill ghosts by taking shots with your camera, called the Camera Obscura, which has the ability to capture what cannot be seen otherwise. It works like it worked in the first game with some minor improvements. You can keep taking pictures of a ghost and take its health little by little, or you can get in closer and wait for a specific moment when the ghost lunges at you. It's a risk-reward system of sorts. If you fail to take a picture at the last moment when the ghost lunges at you, obviously you'll take damage. Also, different types of film can be swapped out. Some films have stronger damage output but are more rare to find. You get the picture, no pun intended. Also, there are different abilities that can be activated by filling up a meter, which you fill up by taking pictures of ghosts. There are different abilities and they are fun to use, like Slow, which slows down a ghost's movements, or the See ability, which enables you to track down ghosts for a certain amount of time, even when they disappear. Also, you can upgrade all of these abilities by placing Spirit Stones and then spending XP points earned by killing ghosts. You can upgrade basic camera parameters as well. In the first Fatal Frame, you only fought one ghost at a time. I don't remember a sequence where you fought multiple ghosts. In Fatal Frame 2, this is not the case. You regularly fight 2, 3 or more ghosts at a time. It takes a bit of getting used to if you're jumping in this one from the first one, but the general feeling with combat and gameplay in general is that it's a much easier game than the first one. Healing items are not rare to find, and the game is much more generous with more powerful films. This doesn't mean that Fatal Frame 2 is a lesser survival horror game than the first one. In fact, it's even better. The village itself is very creepy and a disturbing place which hosted some horrific rituals in the past. It's a bigger game than the first one, that's for sure, and the village itself is more interesting than the Himura mansion from the first game. The ghost design also saw improvements and they are more scary now. For the most part, you'll be killing ghosts and solving puzzles. That's the gameplay in Fatal Frame boiled down, and it's fun. Puzzles are more fleshed out than the first game and require some brain power to solve, but it's nothing mind-crushing. What fascinates me the most is how much I love reading different files and finding out different bits of village's past. People in Minikami Village were some fucked up people with really disturbing satanic rituals. Also, your twin sister accompanies you on your journey to escape from the village. I'm talking about Mayu.
Let me rest. Mayu, are you okay? I'm sorry.
She becomes more and more possessed by the village and becomes creepier. the good thing about Mayu, you don't have to babysit her. She's there, but she won't hinder your experience in any way. In fact, she adds to the already creepy atmosphere. Speaking about the atmosphere, it's phenomenal. You'll feel the dread throughout the whole journey. The tension is high, and you do feel it. I honestly think that this game has the better atmosphere than Silent Hill games, which are games that I also adore. In terms of longevity, Fatal Frame 2 is probably gonna take you around 10 hours on your first playthrough. Graphically speaking, Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly looks great, even for today's standards. It's a PlayStation 2 game, but it holds up very well, and the art style is phenomenal. Japanese to the bone. Once again, I don't have a PlayStation 2 system, so I opted out for emulation. PCSX2 emulator for the Windows. And it worked out almost flawlessly. I haven't encountered any game-breaking bugs or glitches. Sometimes the in-game voice audio can get out of sync, but that's pretty much the only problem I found. I miss the Fatal Frame series back in the PlayStation 2 era. It was so obscure that I never heard of it during the PlayStation 2 generation. But I'm glad that I discovered it now and got around to playing it. Fatal Frame was a great horror game, but Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly is even better. Everything got a refinement, and the Minakami Village is just a perfect setting for this type of game. And the story, just wow, I fucking love it. If I had to give a score to this game, I'd give it 10 out of fucking 10.